Hey, just rolling off my block here in my neighborhood. I'm just thinking about something. Something happened last night, and I was thinking about a video on embracing awkwardness and something that BGS had said a while ago, and my thoughts on it, and that feeling actually coming over me. And it wasn't really so much me embracing my awkwardness, it was me embracing isolationism, or going back to, or reverting back to, like, the way I usually feel. Or I guess a comfort zone, really. So I pretty much finished I have cycles. So I have a stripper cycle. I have a cycle where I go crazy on junk food and eat a lot of different stuff, or eat the same thing, and then I get off of it. I don't know if it's an addictive personality, but like maybe a semi-addictive personality. So I'll go to strip clubs and I'll do it for like 2 to 3 month cycles out of a year. And I'll go like every week and spend maybe $100 a week. And I'll go like once a week. But what'll happen is every so often towards the end of the cycle, I will literally go to the club every day, like every night. And that's kind of what happened this week, where I went every day of the night. And I was just like, at one point, I was even calculating, like, you know, how much people spend on entertainment. And I had, like, I think I said, like, I'd probably maybe do 75% of the year at $100 a week on entertainment. And that's not including food. I was really just looking at, just like, I only really go out to strip clubs. Like, I don't go anywhere else. I don't like going to a lot of, like, places with big crowds. I feel that clubs, for me personally, are a place where I could be alone in a crowd of people and listen to music. So, and then I can people watch, because, like, I like to do that. That's just my little thing. So, oh, sorry, I am kind of driving, right? So, I'm at the club last night, and it's the third time for the week, and I'm like, why the fuck am I here? I think it was probably spent like $200 this week on, like, just going out to the club. It'll be like $10, $20 to get in. It was the game this week, so I watched the game at one of the clubs tonight, over this weekend, or this week, and I noticed, I was like, you know, I spent that money, and I calculated, and, you know, I'm within the average. You know, most households spend about 5% of their yearly income on, on actually going out and having, like, and doing entertainment. So going out to parks, movies, and other things. So I just average mine out to be about like 75% of the year where I actually go out. Most of the times I just stay home or I work, so I can't really go out, and I do a lot. So for me, it was like, I averaged it out to about $5,200 at $100 per week. And it's really not even that much, I would assume. I really think it's probably about 75% of the year. So it worked out to be about like $3,900 is what I estimated. But even at that, $5,200 is about 5.7% for me as far as my income is concerned. Hey, what's that? Oh, hell no. So that's like 5.7% for me. And I mean, it's manageable. I mean, I don't have much in terms of rent or anything like that. I put a lot more in my investments over this past year, so it's not like I'm sitting here spending all types of buku money, you know, on strippers and movies and cakes and shit like that, you know. I might spend it on ice cream though. But I was looking at this stuff and I was like, all right, cool. But when I start getting in that mindset, it's like 4 minutes in and I'm still talking about, like, rambling here, but when I start getting in this mindset where I start to think about this, and I start to think about it too much, and it gets away from me relaxing and trying to get my mind off of the work that I had to do or something like that, then what that means to me is I need to stop going, or I need to stop doing that thing. So, for instance, depending on what it is, of course, if it's like, say, like I eat like ice cream or junk food or some shit like that, I'll be like, listen, you need to stop doing this at this point and just leave it the fuck alone, because you're thinking about it and it's getting away from the enjoyment of that thing. And when I start thinking about it, it's like I want to get away from it. Same thing goes with Dancer. So I was like, hey, listen, it's time for the cycle to be over. And I only noticed this cycle because I'm very observant. Yeah, so I'm very observant, and I was like, I only do this stuff for like 3 months out of the 3 months, and then I stop because I just get bored of it. I really do just get bored. You see the same chicks all the damn time. It's always the same girls in there. You come back a couple months later, they're still there, and it's like, oh, okay, you never see them again. So like, it's kind of like, distance makes the heart grow fonder in a sense. But you start to see that a lot of things happen in cycles. And I think you need to be more observant about your cycles. And I think you need to understand a little bit more yourself and being, honest about your cycles, and being honest about who you are and what you do and what's acceptable within tolerance levels. I look at a lot of things. I looked at how much it was costing me. Again, it's not really that much, like, to me at least, and I have kind of the money to do that. And I'm also on the other side of that, making, spending a whole lot more in terms of investments. Like last year alone, I probably invested about 30,000 in my own capital, and then another 40 something thousand, about 45,000 in just in credit, what's it called, lines of credit and loans, to make an investment. And so it's not like, that overshadows what I'm doing in terms of my entertainment budget is concerned. And a lot of people aren't doing that. I've come to realize that. I'm not just saying that to brag, but you see it. People just aren't really doing that. And a part of it is because they can't too. I mean, it's a large part of it. But even so, like, some of these are people that will complain about people talking about, hey, you think, and this is an aside, but I thought about this, but people that start to complain to you about saying the whole everybody thinks not going to Starbucks every day is going to get them a house type discipline mindset or advice. Like, people that complain about that stuff, really, you have to look at their mindset and how they're disciplined with their money and what they're doing with their money, and you'll see there's a reason why they're complaining about that, or there's a reason, not a reason why they complain about it, but there's a reason why they should be doing that and they don't. And it's kind of funny. And I remember somebody posted that one time. They were like, yeah, everybody thinks like saving $5 a day because I'm not going to Starbucks is such a big deal. It's really not that much money. And the problem is, when you have that mindset and you're not making any other types of investments, you're not saving your 10% or more, or reinvesting your 10%, what have you, then you really start to, like, when you calculate that and go into it, you really start to see how that is really a big problem. About to get on I-95 her. But what I'd say, really, sorry, switching lanes here. I guess the whole point of this is your mindset and the way you're thinking, and how I was dumb. You see me with my turn signal on. People dumb as fuck. Anyways, but you see the mindset and how that actually permeates through the rest of the person's life, and it's not just $5 on Starbucks or $2 a day on Starbucks and making your own coffee, and not buying that little thing at 7-Eleven, what have you. It's really about, what are you doing to discipline yourself, and how do you know yourself? And really, my stripper cycles, as I call it, is me, and as an observation of myself, a potential flaw, and curbing that flaw or curbing that way of thinking to where it doesn't become something that is detrimental to my life in terms of my finances or in terms of my physical life, knowing when to cut certain things off and knowing when to even just to say, hey, listen, I do want to indulge on this. I don't really give a flying fuck. I'm gonna go, you know, and admitting that to yourself, like, hey, listen, Mike, you really want to go, so just go. Like, go and rub on that booty, you know, touch on them titties and stuff like that. And another inspiration for this video was Black Ram's video talking about how Kanye and Drake and then I think somebody else, Wiz Khalifa, that's it, and how they had babies by, or they're having babies by the thotties, these hottie thotties, I think as he put it. And how if you look at it, and I made a comment and I was like, these guys are literally, like, there's people out here talking and frowning upon tricking and going out there and spending your money on, you know, buying pussy. Just go straight to it. But there's guys that are literally out here marrying human leeches. Human leeches. And these women are sucking these dudes dry in the bedroom and at the bank. It's fucking hilarious. And then I said, hey, the game is really upside down. And I really do believe that. And it's just kind of crazy that you're seeing a lot of this stuff happen and that people are not really cognizant of it. And they're just, and they're almost just fooling themselves. And I can't say that I'm 100% not doing the same in terms of what I'm doing. Sorry for the background noise of the road and all that, but I can't say that I'm not doing the same. But at least I can admit it. I don't know. I don't know if that makes it any better. It probably doesn't. But that's it. Let me continue driving. Peace.